I don't like using knives. I don't have the dexterity in my hands. I don't like sharp objects coming toward me or other parts of my body. And knowing this, there was an alternative awarded to me by one of the earliest people in my life who understood this weakness and tendency to avoid them. Hi, my name is Philip Kleitsch. You need a mentor. 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 And you need a mentor. There are people in our lives who can spot the weaknesses that we don't know we are presenting to the entire world. There are things that we are outputting. We put on this face to some people. We dot up our eyes with self-confidence. We dress well. We have shoes that match. We have belts and suspenders and rings and bling, and we have absolutely no confidence whatsoever. And some people are trained to spot that. Have you ever gone in to buy a car and the salesman comes up to you and makes a judgment of you and sells you something you were not prepared to buy? The story about me avoiding knives is from a person I got to know when I was very young. His name was John Ammon. The late John Ammon carved birds, and I went to work for him to cut his grass. He was an older gentleman, my very first. And he discovered that I was a young boy needing to do something with some parts of my day. And he said, I carve birds. Would you like to carve a bird with me? And I said, sure. I've never carved birds before. And since then, I've only done 4. He's left-handed, he is right-handed, but you hold the bird in your left hand to carve it. And if you looked at his birds, you would see that one side is a little more flat than the other side because of the way he had to hold it. And I'm sure you could identify a left-handed bird carver from a right-handed simply because of what side was flat and what side was not. The alternative given to me by him was a wood burner. You could interchange it, and it was a fancy one with an adjustable pedal. He gave me those things, the tools I needed to succeed in that moment. A mentor understands your weaknesses. They understand where you are going to fail, how you are going to adjust your efforts, and where you're going to fail to meet your goals, even if you don't know what your goals actually are. In 2013, when I was still a teenager, we went out to Colorado, my family and I, to see the wedding of my brother. His father-in-law-to-be hosted us at his hobby farm. And I fell in love with the place, and I asked if I could come back the next year. The next year comes around, and I'm 14, and I get all ready to go, and then I'd say, I don't have airfare. What did he do? He bought my airfare, and I went out there for 2 weeks, and I worked my heart out, and I loved it. And he saw my potential. He saw that I was a hard worker, that I was willing to get out there, that I was willing to put in the time. And he invited me back year after year after year after year, and he paid me to be out there. Room and board, plus a little bit on the top. Who couldn't ask for more? But he was one of 3 people I met in that year. He taught me hard work and beauty in the area that I was in. Colorado is a beautiful place. If you've never been, I encourage you. I also met somebody named George Feltz. This man saw my potential, this raw, unharnessed desire to be unique. I was a welder in 2013. I've done 35 bicycles. I would get them from scrapyards, take them out to his place 5 miles from my house, If something broke, I had to lug it 5 miles. And he saw the determination there, and he wanted to nurture me. There I was, with his 220 welder. Oh, it's crap. Bang, 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 or cut it off and start again. But he never gave up. He's still around. I visited him today. He taught me my persistence had a benefit to me. Being persistent. Mentors see your potential to be persistent in something that you love. What else? I met somebody else, Mac Metcalf. Some of you have met him. He has come to these meetings. He has seen an area of my life that I have an acquired taste for, like caviar. Although Toastmasters is much tastier than caviar. But he doesn't have to come, because he understands his place in my life. My father doesn't come to these meetings for the reason I'm going to do next. Some people use the people in their lives for the benefits they have. Some people have fathers that understand their strengths and weaknesses. You like football? Great. I'm going to take you to football camp. You enjoy computers? Great. I'm going to take you to computer camp, buy your first Mac, give you all the classes that you want, take all these, do this. You love painting? Here's a paint set, and so on and so on. But some people don't have those types of people in their lives, but they need them. And sometimes that potential for learning, for ascribing greatness, for being unique, to finding the niche in their area, it's really hard to come by. And the absence of mentors makes a vacuum in that person's life. Scripture says, bad company corrupts good morals. And there are a lot of people in the world that are all too happy to corrupt somebody for their own gain. There are some people who are mentors only for the gain they can get from their apprentices. And that's not who I'm after here. I'm saying you should desire to see a person's weaknesses and offer your services to them. Maybe it's only 10 minutes a week. Maybe it's even less. Maybe it's your friend. And you say, hey, I have expertise in this, or maybe I don't, but I know someone who does. It's networking. You could be a networking mentor. And that's what they need. Seeing a need, filling a need, as sometimes it's mentioned. My father didn't understand me, but he knew that I needed something. He allowed me to go over to Almonds and carve birds. He allowed me to go to Colorado and work for 2 weeks, out in the middle of nowhere, enjoying the non-existent air. You can see for 60 miles out there because there's no air. He let me weld and break things and get cuts and burns. He allowed me to meet Mr. Metcalf and spend time there. What did Mr. Metcalf do? He told me I'm not a painter. I know how to get paint on, then I don't know how to do anything else. But that's okay. He saw that's not my strength, and he doesn't make me paint things. He lets me do other stuff. The last thing I'm going to share with you is my unique quality. I am unique. I am a mentor to some other people that I know. Mr. Metcalf allowed me to understand that my sense of aesthetics is garbage. He saw me cut down a piece of brush. I looked at this junk cherry tree, 20 feet tall and about that wide in the middle. And he said, I loved it when you saw that tree and you saw a chair in that. I cut it down, took it to my father's bench, cut it all up into pieces, came to Metcalf's, threw it on the floor, and within just a few minutes, I had a chair. A chair made out of that same wood. It is an ugly chair. And if she had had her way, Mr. Metcalf's wife, Jean, would have gotten rid of it because it is so ugly. But Metcalf likes that chair because of what it tells about me. I'm able to see a problem come to its completion. And there are people in my life that I can see the same thing. I can see people taking advantage of other people for bad reasons. And I want to get in there and I want to say, hey, stop that. Let's do this instead. Unlock your potential. Become unique. Fill that niche. Fill that void. Actually turn off the vacuum and turn on the pressure. Pressure can be a good thing. And as I conclude, I'd like you to look around your life as was said in my introduction. There are people in your life who we may not call them mentors because of how Google defines mentor. But there are people in your life who exert their mentorship qualities upon you, and they should be taken advantage of. Thank you.